Hello world. It is November 9th, day after Election Day, and the results are in and new president has been elected. Who do I blame for this? First of all, let me explain one thing. Didn't support either one. Wanted that to be known. I would have voted had I kept my voter's registration up to date, and I did not. My mistake. Accept full responsibility for that. So, who do I blame for this? I blame the American people. Why do I blame the American people? Because you are willfully ignorant. Allow me to explain. Now, if I asked you to stop the video and answer the question, how many people ran for president this election? If I told you right now, stop, answer it in the comments. A lot of you would get that number wrong. So, why would you get that number wrong? You get that number wrong because of your willful ignorance. And for years I was the same way too. I can't really, but let me explain what I'm trying to get at here. Readjustment, sorry about that. The problem is 90% of the American people want the television and other media sources to tell them who to vote for instead of educating themselves, doing research, and finding out everything they can on everyone who's running. And based on that information, make a choice of the best person for the job. Most people would rather, quote unquote, settle for the lesser of two evils. I can honestly say that in this situation, that option did not exist. So, and then you would have other people say, well, or most people rather, would say, well, that would be throwing away a vote if you went for a third-party candidate, blah, blah, blah. But if you counted up everybody who felt that way, believe it or not, you'd have enough to sway. The issue is that the debates are rigged because they only allow two parties. And the committee that is in place to supposedly make sure that it's not biased one way or the other is also the one that locks it into only having two podiums on stage. Now, why on earth should we settle for that when we're supposed to be a country that prides itself on freedom of choice, freedom to choose your next president? How free are you when your choices are forced? Just a quick question. I'd like to have that answer to that. And the answer is, of course, we aren't. Because the news media and the government forces our choices down to two underqualified morons. And that's pretty much the way it is. And I can guarantee on television reports, in any form of media whatsoever, and by the way, for the sake of information, every news outlet is biased. Some might be, a majority of them are one way, and very few of them are the other. But they're biased, and because of that, none of them are going to report things honestly and fairly. I think probably NPR is the closest we're going to get. But here's the thing. you people of this country that we call great, that we call free, exercise that freedom, exercise your freedom, and within the next 4 years, educate yourself. Educate yourself to the point where you know more than 2 names. So that way when, 2020? No, wait a minute. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, year 2020 comes around, you will know more than 2 names, and you actually be able to make an educated decision that doesn't result in the 2 mandatory parties being elected. So please end the willful ignorance of the broken 2-party system. And please start educating yourselves, because no matter which way you voted, this is your fault. Just putting it out there. And it's getting old, and it's getting to the point where this government will fall, and not in favor of us. It's going to fall on us. Doesn't matter who's in charge or what party's in charge. It's going to fall, and it's going to fall on us. I see a lot of people online that they're already hating on certain states because they went with Trump and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? Don't look here. Blame the system. Blame yourselves for not educating. And the thing is like, you focus on these 2 people. Anybody who's actually qualified, anybody who actually deserves to be in that office, you'll never know about. And that's the plan. It's all according to plan. But if the American people would educate themselves and voted in a 3rd-party candidate, and everyone will lose their minds. Let's make people lose their minds. Because you know what? They've already lost it. People have already proven that they lost their minds by constantly making the same 2 bad decisions over and over again every 4 years. So, let's start things up. Let's be true rebels. Let's be patriots. Let's rebel against the established form of forced government, if you will. And let's educate ourselves. That's the weapon that we have, is education. A weapon that they hope you won't use. Why do you think that? I'm going to make some enemies here. I don't care. Truth is truth. Why do you think a lot of times the left constantly go for the young people? It's because they're young. It's because they're ignorant. And so they feel that if they can appeal to them, then they got them. However, the older people have experience on their side. And they typically will vote the other way. However, I think young, old, male, female, whatever in between, because of 2016, I have to say that. I'm already going to get lynched, I might as well not add on top of it. But if we, as a collective country, educate ourselves and ignore the 2 choices forced on us, we might actually be able to retake our own country. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you who to vote for or who you should have voted for this time, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to hope and ask you to please use the only weapon you have against the 2-party system, because that's what's going to destroy this country. The 2-party system, not whoever comes out of that system. It's going to be the system itself. what I was also going to say is that I've already seen people claiming how Trump's going to be the worst president ever. First of all, he hasn't even done anything as president, so we can't really even... I mean, honestly, if we want to be objective, he hasn't done anything yet as a president. So we cannot make that decision. We cannot say that. We cannot make that declaration. However, let's be cautious. So, I do apologize for the image here, but honestly, the image isn't what's important. What's being said is what's important, so I can easily just turn this into a podcast or whatever, but I don't want to edit this. I can show you a picture of a dog for this entire time. Again, don't want to edit it. So, let's not go left or right. Let's go the correct way. I was going to say the right way, but it might be misconstrued. Let's go the correct way. Let's exercise our actual freedom of choice and choose based on freedom, not based on forced choices. If, alright, like Baskin Robbins boasts of having 31 flavors of ice cream, right? Now, if you went in there and all they ever had in there was pistachio and like strawberry banana. That's all they had in the case. Every single bin filled up with those two flavors. But all the rest of them were in the back. And you had to fight and scratch and claw in order to even look at coffee flavor ice cream or anything else. Would that be fair? Would that be just? Would that be good for business, for lack of terms? No, of course not. If you went to any store and all you ever saw for any product was two choices, and the one you actually like or the one you want isn't there, you'd be upset. Why do we settle? Why do we not settle for that when it comes to less important things? When it comes to people who are going to govern our nation, we'll settle for that bullcrap. Doesn't make sense. Ladies and gentlemen, I've done rambling, and I hope that you would take my words into careful consideration, because it's your responsibility. And whether or not you pick up this responsibility determines what's going to happen in the future. Moving forward 4 years or 8. It is entirely your responsibility. It's our responsibility as the citizens of this nation to educate ourselves, to choose the best person for the job, and not have to settle. We should never have to settle for anything important. Anything important shouldn't be a matter of having to settle. There, that's a better way of putting it. And it angers me every 4 years. And I don't understand why people are happy living in their willful ignorance. Because this is what you get. This is what you get. You earned it. You made the bed. You lie in it. So, like I said, it doesn't matter which way you voted. It's still your fault. Because you voted one of those two ways. Because you allowed yourself to be uneducated and willfully ignorant. Sorry, but it's a sad truth. Hopefully, 4 years' time, country will wake up. Somehow I doubt it. It's a sad, sad reality.